welcome back to Definitely Not Definitive. I'm Ken.
And I'm Bethany.
And we're just a couple in love that loves checking out some Star Wars stuff.
And it's Revenge of the Fifth.
Yes, happy Revenge of the Fifth to you. And so that's why we're checking out the Sith side of the story. And the most evil thing the Jedi ever did. Sith Holocaust. So we want to get, there's two sides to every coin, and everyone is a hero of their own story. So the Sith think that they're just out, trying to make the galaxy a better place. And we'll see what the Jedi did. Jedi aren't so great.
We'll see about that.
The Jedi were regarded among many to be peacekeepers who sought to protect the galaxy from all kinds of evil. But there were moments across the Jedi's long history that may muddle this accepted notion, including what may be the most evil thing they ever committed, the Sith Holocaust. And when we say Sith, we aren't exclusively talking about the Sith Order, and those who harbored the dark side powers and the titles of Lord and Emperor. We are talking about the entire Sith species, which consisted of billions of innocents. So what led the Jedi to commit such a heinous act? It began with the Great Hyperspace War, the first conflict between the Galactic Republic and the original Sith Empire. The war took place around 5,000 years before the Clone Wars. The Sith Empire was in a way created by the Jedi long ago, when they exiled a group of their own who they considered to be too dangerous. Those exiled were known as Dark Jedi, who during their exile came across the Sith homeworld of Korriban. The Dark Jedi made contact with these red-skinned people and noticed that they were strongly connected to the Force, particularly the dark side. So the Dark Jedi combined their knowledge of the Force with the Sith magic practiced by the Sith people to develop strong, unnatural Force abilities that would become a staple to future Sith Lords. Many years had passed, and the original Dark Jedi that had come to Korriban had died off, leaving only their Force knowledge to the Sith people who used it to build up an empire within their isolated corner of the galaxy in the Outer Rim. One day, a pair of Republic deep space explorers accidentally landed on Korriban and made contact with the Sith. They were immediately imprisoned, as the Sith believed they were spies who were from a government that was preparing to attack them. This paranoia of the Sith possibly stemmed from the past of when the Infinite Empire ruled by the Rakata attempted to invade Korriban by at first appearing as friends. The historic Rakadan attack devastated Korriban, so the Sith weren't taking any chances this time, possibly hoping to not be the victims of another surprise attack, as well as wishing to expand their own empire and conquer new worlds. The Sith Empire located the Galactic Republic and attacked some of its most important planets, including Coruscant, thus marked the beginning of the Great Hyperspace War. The Sith Empire made quick gains in the war, but ultimately lost when infighting occurred within its own borders. This infighting within the Sith Empire allowed the Republic to counterattack and effectively fight back the Sith to their own territory and disable their ability to launch any more offensive attacks on Republic worlds. In other words, the Sith no longer posed a threat to the Republic, but some within the Republic felt that wasn't enough, and that the already defeated Sith Empire needed to be punished even more for starting what might have been the most devastating war the Republic had fought in its history at that point. So the Supreme Chancellor named Pultimo gave the order to commit genocide upon all worlds within the Sith Empire's borders. This included wiping out the entire Sith species, along with all others who so happened to live among the Empire's borders. The Jedi followed through with this order and spearheaded the genocides alongside with Republic forces. The Jedi probably thought that the dark side embedded Sith species were too dangerous to be left alive, and that by killing them all would eliminate the threat of them attacking again. Billions of defenseless beings were slaughtered as a result. This event became known as the Sith Holocaust in galactic history, and it was considered to be one of the biggest mistakes ever committed by the Jedi by later members of the Order. But these genocides were not successful, as a few groups of Sith and other people that were among them survived and escaped into uncharted deep space. They remained there, hidden from the Republic. The survivors spent the next 1,300 years building a new empire under the leadership of a Sith Emperor who went by the name of Vitiate, who prepared his people to one day exact revenge on all those who killed their ancestors. When the time came, the Sith returned once more to the galaxy and reclaimed their lost world of Korriban, waged war on the Republic, and sacked the Jedi Temple. The returned Sith became a force to be feared once again, as they forced the Old Republic to submit to their demands through the Treaty of Coruscant, which allowed the Sith to control half of the known galaxy with ultimate authority. Thanks for watching this episode of The Lore Master. Be sure to subscribe for more Star Wars lore videos like these in the future.
Okay. So obviously we're not super well versed in the deep lore of Star Wars, so I don't know how accurate this video is to everything, but I mean, it seems like, the creator knew what they were talking about. And what do you think about now?
So if you're on the side of genocide, you're on the side of wrong.
Yeah.
Pretty universal truth. But what I will say is that throughout history, when people have done terrible things, the way that you get past it, that you heal and you evolve and you learn from it so that you don't do it again, is by acknowledging that you did a terrible thing.
Very true.
So the Jedi's not out there like, oh, this never happened, and no, we're awesome, and we love the Sith, and we wouldn't touch them. No, the Jedi said, we did a terrible thing. We have universally accepted that this was the worst thing that we've ever done, and it was bad. Obviously, if I was a Sith and I had some Sith family who were killed in the Holocaust, I would have an axe to grind. But at the same time, when you do wrong and you acknowledge it and you make sure you don't do it again, that does leave a door to move forward. You're
not defined by the, we said this before, you're not defined by the worst thing you do or the best thing you do. And so, the Jedi aren't wholly good and the Sith aren't wholly evil. And I think that that's good that they started to expand this because, Star Wars, when it first started, was so very black and white and good versus evil. But no, it's it's a little bit more complicated than that, and that always makes the story more interesting. Mm-hmm. It was interesting learning more about this and learning about why it happened and just the fact of again, just fear of the unknown. And, instead of trying to go there and make peace and figure out some kind of way to live in some kind of harmony, that's no, we'll just take this out just in case you might be a threat later. It's like a Minority Report. It's okay, well, you're going to commit a future crime, so I'm going to arrest you for that now.
There's a human instinct that is very necessary for survival when you consider that, we came from cavemen and there was a lot of stuff trying to kill us in the world, which allowed us to survive and evolve and become the dominant species on the earth. But the flip side of it is, from a cultural perspective, it's kind of our own worst instinct, which is we tend to fear anything that is not super familiar or similar to ourselves. And fear breeds violence. For some reason, it's something about people that when we get afraid of it, we get aggressive, we get defensive, we get violent.
Fight or flight.
It's a little more fun to explore in the universe of Star Wars than it is to watch it on the news and the terrible things that people do to each other. So it's fun to see these stories played out in a way that is both entertaining but also really teaches us, and that is, stop fearing the unknown.
On the flip side of that, it does always anger me, whenever you're watching a movie or a TV show or something like that, and the person lets somebody go. It's no, we gotta show mercy, we gotta do this. I'm no, it's gonna come back and bite you in the ass, you idiot. And so, there's a flip side of that. So I get the whole fact of let's take out this problem now before it becomes a bigger problem. I get the logic behind that, but it's more about judging, based on individual person versus, the race, the Soul Sith race didn't need to be judged based on, the evil Sith lords or whatever. This was an interesting watch. You'll have to let us know what you thought about this, and if you knew it beforehand, and how accurate this video was. If you did know the lore going in beforehand, if there's any corrections, please let us know down below in the comments. And make sure you check out our other channel, Definitely Not Definitive Games. Yesterday we celebrated May the 4th be with you with some Star Wars Battlefront 2 cinematic trailers.
Yeah, Jedis.
Bethany's obviously Team Jedi. So I had to sit her down and make her listen to some Sith propaganda.
I am curious though, there's a really rich history here for Star Wars. Going back, 5,000 years before the Clone Wars and stuff? So, Disney. Get on this. There's a whole world.
Oh yeah, Disney. Why aren't you doing the Sith Holocaust? Why isn't that being marketed?
No, but the origin of the Sith. I had no idea there was a race of red-skinned people whom had special connections to the dark side. I didn't know any of that.
Yep.
I knew that Darth Maul had red skin, but I kind of thought that was just a fun costuming choice for the character. I had no idea there was a legitimate basis for it.
I think maybe it was a fun costume. They're we need a legitimate basis for this, so we're going to go back and we're going to do that.
Good for them on creating something like that.
Yeah, I don't know what came first. I don't know when they kind of started doing this whole, kind of expanding the universe more and more. But yeah. So
that's what I really love about the entertainment nowadays is we're telling so many stories from the unknown point of view, or the overlooked point of view, or the evil point of view, to show, it's not all the damsel in distress and the knight in shining armor, but there are, other perspectives to every story, and I think that's great.
Like You is a good show on Netflix that explores, that kind of whole dynamic.
Not that we're pro-stalker. I'm just gonna...
No, but I think, they brought up an interesting point, and like it was, again, they stole my idea. But stalkers don't. What if you're a stalker and you don't think you're a stalker? Like through their lens, they think that they're like romantic and in love and everything. And so I thought it was cool that they did that. And the guy that's the main character in it is very good.
Yeah, he's got a very dry sense of humor that is. Yeah. There's almost like a Dexter vibe about it.
Yeah, very much so.
Which is very fun.
But thanks again for checking out this video with us, and we hope you enjoyed our reaction for the most evil thing the Jedi ever did. But just keep in mind
that our reaction is definitely not definitive.